The year is 1851. Whispers of gold, just whispers at first, begin to drift across the dusty plains of New South Wales. These whispers tell of a land touched by fortune, a land where a man could bend his back, dig in the dirt, and pull out a king's ransom. The whispers start quietly, but they grow louder, more insistent, pulling men and women from their homes with the promise of untold riches. This is the story of the Victorian gold rush, a time of immense change, of great fortune and terrible hardship. It is a story that is forever etched into the very soul of Australia. The gold rush, you see, wasn't just about finding gold, it was about finding a new life. It was about escaping poverty, about leaving behind the mistakes of the past, about grabbing hold of the future with both hands and wrestling it to the ground. It was about hope, raw and untamed, the kind of hope that could drive a man to cross oceans and deserts, all for the chance to strike it rich. The whispers first turned to shouts in a small town called Clunes. It was here, in the shadow of Mount Alexander, that James Esmond and his party found the first significant gold deposits in 1851. The news spread like wildfire, racing across the countryside faster than any man could carry it. Soon, Clunes was overrun with prospectors, all eager to claim their share of the golden bounty.
But Clunes was just the beginning. As more and more gold was pulled from the earth, the rush spread southward to the towns of Ballarat and Bendigo. These towns, once sleepy backwaters, were transformed almost overnight into bustling cities, teeming with life and overflowing with gold. The goldfields of Ballarat and Bendigo, along with Clunes, formed what became known as the Golden Triangle, a region that would come to define the Australian gold rush.
The gold rush brought with it a tide of change, but not all of it was good. For the Aboriginal people who had called this land home for generations, the arrival of the miners meant displacement, dispossession, and often violence. The Dja Wurrung people, whose traditional lands encompassed much of the gold-bearing regions, were particularly hard hit.
Their hunting grounds were overrun, their sacred sites desecrated, their way of life disrupted. The Dja Wurrung, like many other Aboriginal groups across Victoria, were forced to watch as their ancestral lands were transformed into a vast network of mines and shanty towns. The injustices they suffered during this period continue to cast a long shadow over Australia's history.
The gold rush had a profound impact on the colony of Victoria. The influx of people and wealth transformed Melbourne from a small colonial outpost into a thriving metropolis. Money poured into the city, funding grand buildings, bustling businesses, and a sophisticated cultural scene. Melbourne, once a quiet town on the edge of the world, was now a major player on the global stage.
The gold rush also had a lasting impact on Australia's national identity. It fostered a spirit of egalitarianism and mateship, as men and women from all walks of life came together in pursuit of fortune.
It also sowed the seeds of discontent, as the harsh realities of life on the goldfields and the inequities of the colonial system led to unrest, and ultimately to the Eureka Rebellion, a pivotal moment in Australia's fight for democracy. The legacy of the gold rush, then, is a complex one, a mix of progress and pain, of triumph and tragedy. It is a legacy that continues to shape Australia to this day.